let's do an intro.
I figured we were doing just our own
I thought it was
thing.
a cold open. Yeah, I was waiting for you to do
the
your patented.
Yeah. Hey guys, 3, 2, 1. Let's record a podcast. It feels kind of sleazy to say it like that, I guess.
It felt sleazy to listen
You know,
to.
intros are my least favorite part.
No, they feel insane.
Intros and closers, I always just choke and then I ruin it at the very end.
That makes me feel good because you're a professional.
We're gonna do a long fade out, no matter what you say at the end, and you
That's
just
what
like a
I'm gonna
'70s
start
rock
doing.
song.
That's okay. I have something to say about that, but let's go real quick. Welcome to the Replay Cafe podcast. My name is Jake.
And I'm Alex.
And today we have someone new on our crew. Not our guest, but something else similar.
Hey guys, I'm Jonah Rzeppa. I also work at Replay Cafe, and I'm happy to join the podcast today.
He's the
Nice.
sports brother.
This is my sport. Jonah's going to get Jonah's Sports Corner. We're going to cut to him for 3 minutes, and he's going to take us to the highlights.
DraftKings. Am I allowed to say that?
I love that.
You can say DraftKings.
Legal sports betting.
It's not like a
legal.
porn site, is it? It's like a site. And then now we should introduce our guest, or they should introduce themselves, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Candace Byrnes, and I work for State Champs. It's hard to even give myself a title. I guess I'm technically a creative content producer, which was their best way of
That's
just...
a very millennial era.
Yeah.
Like title for like
No, is it just in case? It's pretty much like, yeah, you're going to do...
everything. We're like, we're not going to
Whatever
give you a
is
budget.
needed.
We're not going to give you any gear, and you're going to make it happen.
That's gonna look great on your resume to YouTube University.
YouTube University.
You just put it on the top.
When you go back for your master's.
Yeah.
I mean,
creative content producer.
No, creative content producer is... I was happy with the producer ending, so really whatever words that they decided to put in the beginning was totally okay with me. But I host our esports show. I also host our podcast, which is Gamers Unlimited Podcast. And then I just recently started doing gymnastics coverage for high school, which is...
Sweet.
I don't know how that fits in, but it does. And then I'm their lead graphic design artist. So, got like a lot of
You
feet
never
in the
ever
door.
get to go home.
No, and with like remote working, it's like even when you're home, are you really even home?
I just had to. I don't know if we can talk about
Talk
this on the
about
pod.
it.
Oh no!
I got a lot to say about it.
Do you have a lot to say about it?
Yeah.
I like Alex. I had to. Okay, I'll start from the top. I started a second job in the lockdown because we were closed, and I was just like, I gotta bring in. You gotta pay the interest on
You
those
were
loans.
doing some delivery.
Oh, that was just some Amazon pickup stuff.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
No, don't work for Amazon. Just don't do it.
I didn't say it. Cut that.
No, hard. Don't. Fuck them.
Fuck Jeff Bezos.
I'm gonna put this on the
God,
pod.
Jeff.
Jeff Bezos should be pulled apart by horses. A lot of people should, but Jeff Bezos number one.
Did he personally hurt you, or just Amazon in general?
We'll get into Amazon after. Anyways, so I picked up a second job. There's a new store in town called Game Pawn. They're in Southfield. They're not too far from Warren Stick where you work, actually.
Okay.
And they're just a used retro store and stuff. And I'm working there, and it's like I'm new and I'm getting trained. And they're like, all right, you're working with the guy who's in the store. One guy. He's training you. And then week 2, they're like, all right, here's the keys to the place. Text if you need anything. So, of course, I have needed a lot of things. I've had a lot of questions. I've made some mistakes.
This is week 2.
Week 2. Week
my
2 left
God.
all alone. But since then, I've woken up every day after my shift to like just a bevy of like, you did this wrongs. And it got to the point where I was just like, hey man, that's great, but could you just send this to my email? Because I'm at Replay and I'm worrying about like how I didn't like reset a switch or something like that. And it's like eating up my day. And this dude comes back at me. He's like, something wrong with your phone? Like when I'm like, please don't text me. I'm like, what are you? Are you my bully? No. Email still goes to my phone. I just separate into something I can come back to later. So it's like this work-life balance thing is what I'm getting at here, where I don't think it's acknowledged. And I think you're probably aware of it too, because you're working all day probably.
Yeah.
Especially from home.
Just about. I mean, I would say I've kind of tried to like place a little bit of a border where I now leave my work computer at work. But I still have my personal computer, which is completely hooked up to everything at work. So I mean,
Right.
it's
And it still
it's
just comes
kind of
through.
the same thing. But in my mind, I tell myself like, don't do that here.
Right.
But
Is it like tempting to? Like, I haven't got an email yet, so I'm asking, like, what if this dude emails me and I still look at it as if it was a text?
It's weird because I went through this phase. We were only remote work for about 6 weeks when I first started, which totally bummed me out. I'm not gonna lie, because they were like, you have an office like with a door on it, and like you have your own space, and here's all this stuff.
To be clear,
but
you're like
you gotta go home.
25, 24? Like for like that age, I feel like it's a very big
Yeah,
deal. Like,
I'm 24.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like who's 24 and has their own office with a door?
I'm
Like,
not
that's
us.
crazy.
We don't.
Well, I'd say you guys have like a
We
pretty
have
pretty
2 big garage doors. One is
groovy
yellow.
office here.
Yeah. Kind of a garage band.
I think that's cooler. You have
Oh,
a
it's
large
pretty cool.
office door.
And a warehouse.
It's a pain. It's
But
stuck.
no,
It's
I
better.
mean, I like when it comes to like disconnecting once it hits like 5 o'clock or whatever. I mean, I know you guys aren't on that whole like 9 to 5 thing, but it was hard in the beginning because I was working from home 5 days a week. So it was like if something was needed at 6:30 or 7,
Right.
then it was kind of it felt as if it was like, well, can you just do this right now? Like I know you can, because it was like no one had any excuse of like, well, no, I'm not going anywhere. Like there was like no reason why you couldn't do anything. So now it's gotten like a little bit better because things are open, kinda, and like we're work in the office and then work from home like half of the week. So
You're doing,
people
like,
are
the
more
hybrid
better.
week or whatever it's called.
Yep. They actually were only requiring us to come in. Everyone had to come in at least 1 day a week. And I emailed Denver and was like, I want in like at least 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Like, I don't want to work from home anymore.
That's how I felt about this place, and then maybe we talked about it on your podcast where it was just like, I come in here just to do very basic things. Because at my house, my cat walks on my keyboard and the dishes are dirty, and it blows my mind. I can't sit there. I go crazy.
I just start cooking like a 5-course meal.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, I'm like, wait, it's only 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
You need to calm down and keep working.
Are you still gonna want to go in every day once you move? Like, is the proximity, you think, gonna change your desire to make that drive?
So I will tell you a little bit of advice from my dad when it comes to like driving to work, which is so silly to say, but it's something that I like live by now.
No, I wanna hear
Right? I know some dad advice is pretty good.
Dadvice is a very specific brand of advice.
Oh, that's really good because it's going to look good on paper.
Dad
That'll be our
advice.
next podcast.
Yeah, Dadvice.
Well,
None of us are dads though, so I don't know.
He's a cat dad. I don't
Man,
know.
I'm coming
There
around.
you go.
I've got
I
like
can-
4 years. It's
I
gonna
don't know if
happen.
I'll ever achieve it, guys.
You
never
will-
gonna be
You
a
will never
dad.
be a dad.
You could try.
But I have one, so I guess that's the closest thing. So his advice was that you should never work within 30 minutes or you should never live within 30 minutes distance from where you work.
So you
I
should
remember-
be further?
Yeah, like you
Okay.
should have a 30-minute drive at least to work each day. And I remember I was like, well, that's crazy. I would love to just work right around the corner. Like you would never have like any commute. And then I realized like he's so right, because you have that like 30-minute time frame of coming home where you can like disassociate from work, and like if you're angry about anything, you can get it out like on the phone or just
On the
like
drive
through,
home.
Yeah,
Bitch
through like
the whole way
singing.
home.
Yeah, and then like by the time you get home, you're like, okay, I'm over it. I don't even want to talk about work anymore anyways. Whereas if you're right next to work, you come home and you're still like so in that mind. So I feel like a 30-minute drive, I'm looking at it like positively.
I'm looking at Alex's face, and he seems to be mulling it over. And I know this because he has a 40-minute drive both ways.
Oh, you
I-
do? Yeah, you're right.
But the thing is, I have an odd life.
Let's go back to the
I'm-
beginning.
Am never not working.
No, I'm same way. Yeah. Probably her too, though.
From the second I actually get out of bed, my workday begins. Like responding to client emails, talking to the photographers, talking with Jake about ideas. So I don't think I don't have a workspace that's like mine to work from. But coming here, I wish I don't treat this place like work maybe, but I would love to be around the corner.
I think it's a little bit different though, because you guys are the owners
Sure.
of the business. So it's if anything were to happen, like you need to be able to get here. I mean, not that you're not already gonna be here in the time that if anything happened, like you would be here already, but that I do feel is different. Whereas my work, once it hits 6 p.m. Like no one else is
You
there.
get to
so
be done
Yeah.
for the
That
day.
is like the right
Yeah.
of the employee. Like you are only working when you are being paid to work. That's the
yes.
trade.
And I think this all stems back to what you guys were talking about, that work-life balance. Like the employee should get that benefit. Like
Oh, yeah.
especially someone who's making like minimum wage. Like it's
If you're paid
unfair
hourly, yes.
to
Yeah.
even bother communicating outside of work hours. Like just bring it up next time I'm in or next time I'm scheduled to work, like whatever. Whereas like us being owners, we have to worry about stuff all the time and we don't necessarily have to disconnect in that way.
This is something my girlfriend's dad was telling me about the owner
More
of
Dadvice.
his. More
I love
Dadvice.
it.
He was just telling me, he's like, when that place gets open, man, the owner of my business, he's like the CFO or something right there, and he's talking about the CEO. And like the CEO, I've caught him just like asleep in his car, and I'll knock on the window, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he pops. So he's like, I'm awake, and he like goes into work. But he's like, he's always working. He's explaining that to me, and I was kind of saying, like, when you do this kind of thing, you kind of have to want that.
Yeah. Nope. That like totally takes out like my previous Dadvice because when you
But I think you're still right. Like, I think you're
for
absolutely
the
right.
employee, like I
Yeah.
think you guys are totally correct. Whereas for you guys, like why like that drive has to be a pain where you're like, well, if I could just get there.
The joy, I guess, for me is that I come in well before any traffic would exist, and we don't leave until midnight or later. So I'm not dealing with traffic, and I'm just throwing on a podcast and just kind of driving home.
Which is good practice for this. You
Munching.
absorb all the lessons.
Yeah, I absorb all of the passive lessons of podcasting.
I mean, Alex is already kind
Wait, point them.
Oh, Jonah's here?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, of course. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm still here. I would say
Whoa.
Alex is already still doing that. There's been multiple times when you've slept over on the couch.
Yeah.
And spent basically 2 to 3 days here by yourself.
Yeah,
running
Friday
through
night,
the-
you'll find me on the couch asleep.
Yeah.
I got to prepare for Saturday's podcast recordings.
I'm not a bad business partner. I have said, Alex, I live down the road. Would you like to come sleep on
Sleep
my
at my
couch?
house.
Set
He
over
made-
my dead body
he-
with 2 cats and a girlfriend and stairs that
Aw.
creak whenever you move. No chance.
We have these really nice couches.
Didn't you have like crazy neighbors?
Not crazy.
Or maybe should we not mention that on
I
podcast?
I have a very kind
She's not
downstairs
listening.
neighbor. She's not listening. But to explain my neighbor, her business doesn't seem 100% legal.
Okay.
I think sometimes I can hear her business in the morning and at night. And I mean, there you go. It's fine. She was puking loudly this morning. I just feel bad that anyone was puking on a Tuesday morning.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Monday nights. Wow.
Yeah, they were doing like the nitrous or something last Wednesday. And she's like, came out, she's like, hey man, you want some hippie crack? And I was like, I actually have a headache, so I'm in a
Like
pass.
What's
she
hippie
went out
crack?
of her way to knock on your door and ask you if you wanted some.
No, I was really funny. I had just cleaned the cat box and was taking out the trash.
Oh,
and I was like
okay.
putting it in the trash, and she came out the back door because I live on top and she's on the bottom house. Right? It's a
Okay, yeah, like a split
Duplex,
home.
yeah.
a nice old house and stuff like that. And she's like, hey man, you want some hippie crack? And I was like, unfortunately, I've had a migraine since noon. I'm just gonna pass on it today. But what happens is at the end of their nitrous sessions, usually around 1 or 2 in the morning, they get angry.
Sessions.
I don't
my
know if
God.
this is like a normal like effect of doing a lot of nitrous, but like it always ends in a screaming match between the 2 girls and this one guy who you can
It
hear him
always ends this way?
2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But the guy, you can always hear him like hitting the balloon or whatever it is you do. I don't know the process. I want to be clear on the show. I don't know how you do nitrous.
Is it a
Okay,
big old
get
tank?
written
Do they have
down.
the whole tank?
They have the
thing?
tank, they have balloons, and they have, I think, the little canisters.
Oh, so they do like whippets. So you're talking like the,
Yeah.
That's what I was
Okay.
picturing. Like your
can
little
tell for the-
whippet canisters that you find.
Yeah.
They're along the
Everywhere.
walkway
Oh,
on
yeah.
the Detroit.
especially in
Water.
Ferndale. I mean, this is Ferndale
It's
we're
pretty
talking
common.
about. Yeah.
I mean, they're in their mid-20s.
You know, it's what's
I'm
cool
in a
these
bubble. I have no idea what you guys are even talking about.
Oh, it's just like nitrous is like the shit they give you at the doctor, right? Like at the. correct
I
me,
know
Jonah.
what nitrous is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we talk about the canisters, like.
Oh,
the-
you're in public health. Take us through it.
I, not exactly, but it's just about like living anywhere semi-urban or along that lines. It's you don't see them unless you're not looking for them, but once you see them, they're everywhere.
Oh, I thought you were gonna explain how to do nitrous.
How to do nitrous? Oh,
I don't think we should explain that on the
Yeah, I know.
podcast.
I just don't
It
under-
shouldn't be a lesson.
A
in-
highlighted topic, but it would
It's
maybe
not a gamer
raise
drug. Let's be
some
clear.
awareness.
Gamers don't do nitrous.
I would not connect the two.
No.
At least if I am missing anything, but I don't think,
I think
the two go together.
Gamers used to do nitrous, but
What?
they've grown up a little bit. So like,
Some dirty. I don't need to classify. cut what I said. They're fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's fine. You're not at fault for the drugs you do before you're 24. I want to be clear.
sure.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think. You have until 24 to kind of like.
Just make mistakes.
Yeah, you should be. I'm not setting myself up as an example, but on a Wednesday you should be taking out the cat box.
Yes.
You shouldn't be doing hippie crack when you're 25, 26. How
Yeah.
old am I?
I would
You're
say definitely
26?
weekday nitrous sessions. You leave below the age of 20.
Right.
Do they really call it hippie crack though?
That's what she called it to me.
Oh,
Well, we're
I've
really
never
stuck
heard that
here.
before. It's
Well, I think this is good content. I want to be clear. So hang on.
Not, though.
No, this is again.
Hey, Candace, you want to come talk about drugs on our podcast?
Drugs we haven't done.
Or rather, you just want
Right.
to listen to Jake talk about drugs on our
Oh
podcast?
my god.
Well, you said talk to me about your crazy neighbor. What are your neighbors like?
yeah.
Oh my god, our neighbors are the worst, and I hope they're listening.
Take us through it.
We're moving in 30 days, so it's fair to bring it up. But they listen to like the most hardcore techno. Like,
They should
sorry,
come
I
here.
left way too big of a pause there.
Hardcore.
Techno, just lots
Oh,
of.
I thought you were just couldn't decide exactly what electronic subgenre to name it.
'Cause
the
it-
hardcore is the funny part. I get it.
Because it's like Spanish techno, and that's where I kind of got lost there for a second. But I'm glad I really built the suspense on that one. No, they're like our canvases on our walls like shake. For
Well,
every
that's your
like,
fault for having canvases, though, right?
you
just
gotta
plain
appreciate
walls.
some good
Oh
old
yeah, you
art.
want to be as depressed as possible every time you wake up.
We'll just make sure to paint directly onto the walls next time.
A quick
No
question
more
though.
canvases.
Are you connected like wall to wall like a complex, or
They're
is it like
above
a separate?
us.
Okay, so they're above you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we like went upstairs one time to like knock on their door, and when you opened the door out of the stairwell, it seriously was so loud in the hallway that I just was like, okay, there's no way that no one else is like absurdly upset right now. It's insane. We tried knocking, but it's so loud, and they're like screaming over each other in there that they cannot hear you knocking even. So, and like the security house tells us like we tried calling them, but they're not answering. And I'm like, well, someone do something. Like,
I would love to know what
Oh
they're
my God.
screaming. I feel like they're like, "Do you hear a door? No, I don't hear a door. Do you? No."
we've like regularly talked about just like, you know what, let's just go up there. Let's try a different approach. Like we'll have like a 6-pack of beer in hand and be like, what's up, guys?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just so
yeah,
we
yeah.
can get on the inside.
Humanize yourself. This is something I've thought about a lot lately. I learned my favorite concept from high school psych was like when a car cuts you off, you get extra mad because you can't see the person in the car. You're like, that car is going down. Like they don't know you. They're like they're just other apartments. Fuck them. You have to make yourself real to them.
No, and I
Via
want to
beer.
know like what does the inside look like? Like in my opinion, they just have like lawn chairs in their living room, and it is just like a disaster. But Billy, my boyfriend's
Thinks
opinion,
it's very nice.
yeah, he's like, oh no, I bet that they have like top of the line speakers, like really nice furniture, every gaming system, and I'm like, are you now feeling like a jealousy?
No.
Because these people
join
like
They're
he
living the life I should be living.
I think he just really wants to get that 6-pack and go.
that was like my idea, and he was like, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with whatever
Really?
is in there. Yeah, and I was
He's
like,
having second
how?
thoughts, obviously.
How are you not curious? Like now we're just gonna move out of here and never know.
We could fly the drone up there.
Yeah.
I mean, their
Oh my
windows
God.
are all just
Is that legal?
lined up.
No, not at all.
One more thing you shouldn't do, gamers. I'm talking to you.
But we could fly 2 drones just far enough apart to carry a banner that says "Turn it down."
Oh my god!
Just fly it right
this
up to the
is-
floor and hover there for 30 minutes. They gotta look out.
We
at some
should talk
point.
to
I
the
feel
guy
like-
who used to be in the Dark Club. I bet he knows something about that.
The
He does-
Dark Club.
So you see where it says Detroit on our wall?
Yeah.
It say Detroit Dark Club. This used to be a Nerf
Oh, the
arena.
Dark Club. Yes.
His
He
name's
does-
Connor.
His name's Connor.
Really nice guy.
Follow Connor on Instagram. we're putting it in the show
Well,
notes.
now I don't.
Wait, so
because he
this
just
was
changed
the
his
Dark Club?
Instagram
We'll
name.
add it.
So
We'll add it.
how are we gonna?
This was the Dark Club?
So this and the room next to us were both the Dark Club. He expanded very quickly. because he was incredibly successful because his idea was amazing.
But now, where is he now?
Doing drone
He does
shows.
drone shows,
Yeah.
which is the drone connection.
I
Right?
had no idea that this was actually that space. I thought that was still here. So I get
wish.
so turned around when I come in this building. Now it's like autopilot to come here, but the first few times I went in
why we have
places I
signs.
didn't even know existed.
we're as soon as we pay for one thing, we're good. That's the next thing is like, oh, we got to get you here. We're talking about neon signs, something very clear.
Ooh.
I like the idea of one in the hallway. So when you walk into that vast open space in front, it just glows replay at you
Oh, I do like that.
over the white garage door.
Candace just keeps solidifying how little of our like social media presence that she's actually aware of.
Yes.
I've never been to your website. I hadn't even seen pictures of the place.
Oh, what? I've seen
Like
all
before
the
and
pictures.
afters all over the place. There's a
That's
dark
true.
club all over the walls.
Oh, I guess I never paid attention to what was on the walls though,
That's okay.
because I know that the bikes were in here.
See, so
Because-
she saw the picture. She knew bikes were in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it cracked me up because somebody commented and was like, "You guys are doing bike rentals now?" And you were like, "No."
That's so. I didn't see that. Who
No,
said
but
yeah,
that?
that was
Everything
my aunt.
else.
That's your aunt.
Oh.
There's a couple people who were like
ants.
really excited about the bikes. I was like,
Oh no.
Wait a
maybe
minute.
we're in the wrong business.
Alex, is that the
Ha-cha-cha.
aunt who's a platinum member here?
No.
Okay, Alex keeps getting job applications sent to him by his aunt, who's supporting us very kindly as a member, but still suggests to Alex that he find new work.
Yeah, it was a very funny, like, she sent it to all of our cousins.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't think I responded or I said something like, thanks, like very general. And then it was like, she texted me directly after the group chat. And was like, hey, make sure you apply by April or something. And I was like,
You don't have a choice anymore.
oh, no, thank you. I run two businesses. I'm quite busy. I'm fine. I don't need money. And she's just like, okay, like, like she's been here, so she was. It just felt like, like, oh, is that still going on? That
Oh, you guys still working on that?
That's
you guys
like
are still renting games, huh?
for years and years, like for like a decade and a half, my family would be like, "So, still playing guitar?" And I'm like, "Yes." What do you mean? Like I just like gave it up? No, it's over. Interesting question.
So it's fun. This is like quite the transition.
Yeah.
But like bringing up just like family not understanding, I think would be the best ways, because it's not like not supporting, but just like in general with like a lot of like the new age stuff, especially when it comes to gaming. I just recently did a podcast interview with give me a second. I think it was the team leader of Dakota's esports team. And talking to this kid, I felt like I seriously got like geeked about it all over again, because I wanted to ask him like, are your parents not just like blown away that like you are no longer just like in their basement playing video games, like slacking off? You're like in their basement playing video games, like potentially earning a scholarship to a
Right.
university. So I'm like, it blows my mind that now like so many things that were like, I don't know, slept on and people judged it, and video gaming and everything around it was like seen as this like almost lazy, like nerdy, like all negative like effects. And now all of a sudden it just like within 3 years just boomed, and now it's like the coolest thing anybody can do. Everybody wants to stream, everybody wants a podcast, everybody wants to like get on these esports teams, these varsity esports teams. It just blows my mind how everything has completely flopped, and now it's being looked at as like an actual athletic sport almost.
I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
All right. One, maybe Alex knows. Who's Dakota?
Oh, Dakota High School.
team.
Oh, okay. So it's a high school. It's not
Yeah.
a guy. I thought in my
Now
head. 'cause
Jake's showing how much he watches your show.
No!
They just posted it
She said
yes-
she just did it.
They just posted it yesterday.
I go chronologically, and I've been 2 episodes behind for, it's just the pace I
Sure,
keep.
sure, sure.
Of course. But
Nice save.
so Dakota, I thought because Denver's your boss, I thought he might have named his son Dakota. I couldn't remember.
No,
I couldn't remember his name because you.
Denver and Dakota.
I just thought it was a possibility.
No, Denver's son is the one that one of you guys.
Me, I was so
okay, I
impressed.
never know who I'm talking to. I just imagine that it's both of you somehow, and then
Sometimes it is.
I just run off with that.
I don't know what we're talking about. So it
I
wasn't me.
wrote. Okay, so we'll get back real quick to the thing, but wait, go ahead. Candace, go ahead and explain. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, I feel like now Denver's son almost has like a fan base. So
I'm a fan.
His son is Bruno. Who have you seen the piece that he did about Roblox?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's that kid, and then he just did another one, and I'm like completely blanking on what the segment was about. But
You shooting in the middle of.
Bruno
This is a promo shot.
Bruno is, I think, eight years old, and he is like the most professional 8-year-old I have ever seen. And he does these like amazing segments for state champs. And Jake had reached out and was like, "Who is this middle school correspondent that you have, and why is he so like? How do we?"
He's not better than Candace, but he's about as good. Like,
I
and at
would
his
say,
age,
like,
it's
Not
my-
as good, but just as good.
My job is threatened by this 8-year-old,
In-
like for sure.
I just know how I was on with any camera around me at that age, and I could never like tie two sentences together. And he's like got the cadence. He's informed. He's interested in the topic. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, and he does like his own. He like shouts at his screen to do like some B-roll shots of him playing, and like me and my boyfriend and my sister all like quote Bruno now, and I am like, oh my god, how do I explain to Denver that we quote his 8-year-old son like regularly? And when I told him about you reaching out, I immediately walked over to his office and I was like cracking up. And I was like, "Denver, look at, like, they want to know about Bruno." And he like just started laughing at his desk. And also I felt like it was like a sense of like pride for like his kid. But he was like, "I am not telling him this. That kid already like knows." Like, and I was like, "Oh my
He's
god,
got
that
an
makes it-"
ego.
Right? He was like, "This will just boost his ego."
The
even
kid's gonna know
further."
when he's like our next guest. We're having
my
Bruno on.
God,
We're interviewing
please.
8-year-old Bruno's gonna come on and blow us out of the water. He's gonna be professional. He's gonna have a docket.
He's gonna
talking
set
points,
up the
etc.
He's gonna
mics
bring the
for you.
schedule.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the schedule. Would Bruno like to produce a podcast?
You know, I feel like that's something that Denver probably is already having to like stop from happening, because I'm sure.
He's like one of those kids who like, or the parents who like know their kid's a soccer star, but want them to have a normal life.
This kid is a star,
This
just
kid's
in
a star.
general.
Like they know that stardom is a path towards degeneracy and fucking deviance, and we want to save him because he's a good guy. He's a good kid. But so that's who Dakota is. That's who Bruno is. Side topic. But you were also talking about like how parents react to like the changing environment in
like
esports.
the positive esports environment.
And so I wanted to ask two things. So a little background on you, but also just background for listeners, I suppose. You brought your mom here. And we're giving
Yeah.
her the tour, and she seemed like into it. But I know if I told my parents, they'd still stare at me and be like, oh my God, he's
What do
doomed.
you mean if? Your parents don't know about this place?
For a long time when we talked about this place, they just stared at me like we're going to stay calm while he
Like,
tells
good
us.
luck,
they're
kinda
like,
thing.
our son is doomed.
Oh my god. So
Friday
I will
night
say my
dinners was a
parents.
hoot, honestly.
What was?
Friday night dinners with the entire family, listening to everyone go.
Dinners were not fun for
How is what's Jake doing? And having to sit there in place of Jake and explain that Jake's trying to start a video game cafe.
I want to give a little quick image. You know in SpongeBob, it's the episode where they're like crawling towards the Krusty Krab, and Squidward has an entire flaming galleon like roped around his waist, and he's crawling.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the pirate ship's on fire, and he's
Oh
pulling
Oh
it.
my god, yeah, I actually do know what
That's-
you're talking
yeah.
about.
That's like what they pictured me as, like just
That's
like
pretty. I mean,
chained to a even worse than sinking ship. Like
oh no.
They have no idea what's going on, what it means, what are video games.
someone has to save him.
Yeah, Jonah, what's wrong with
And then
him, but,
now
like,
you're
why
like,
does he
I'm in
think
it
it's gonna be-
too.
Yeah.
And then so then I like hop in and I'm like, you know, people are cool and maybe I can make some money off of all of this whole thing. But I guess like tackling your question, like seeing I'm getting told I need to speak into the microphone.
Now
clear.
your
You need to
waveform,
spice it up a bit.
your waveform has just
All right,
started to
cool.
appear on the track.
Awesome. But I think like my age group specifically, like 23 is like the age that gaming stopped being like lazy, like you're a crusty degenerate in your parents' basement and you're 33.
Did you just use the adjective crusty?
Yes. Yeah, I
We're
did.
talking about SpongeBob and the adjective crusty doesn't come. The Krusty Krab pizza
It's stuck in my head now.
is the pizza. Go
But
ahead,
yeah,
sorry.
so it stopped being like this whole lame, dumb thing, and you didn't get like the shit, kicked out of you on the
Right.
playground. And I think it's been really interesting to watch how every single, mostly guys, but like you've seen it for everyone, that like you can be like social standings completely like, air quotes normal, but play a bunch of video games. I mean, it's everywhere. It's on TikTok. Like everyone's talking about
Yeah.
their gamer boyfriend, their skinny gamer boyfriend. But it's not just skinny gamer boyfriends.
It's
It's
like
like the frat kids.
gamer BF and like podcaster GF or like a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
It
But
almost
it's
is like the word nerd has been taken from being like that was something you called someone in a negative annotation, and now
yeah.
you could be like, "What? I'm a nerd," and people are like, "Oh God, there's nothing bad I can say about
100%.
that.
Taking it back.
You can
She's
be
really cool."
well, I think that the thing is like, for better or worse, these interests are no longer niche. Like you
Yeah.
can't insult anybody because that term is so attached to these hobbies. But when everybody has them, you can't turn it into a pejorative. It becomes almost a nonsense term.
Right? It's like, "Oh, what? Yeah, I play video games." Like you don't.
yeah.
What is your history? And we were talking about this because I had some other questions too. Like, what is your history with gaming? Because you're an esports broadcaster. Like, I went to school for journalism, and I wanted to do something like that, but I didn't. How did you get to it? What is your history with gaming? I guess.
I think the question that we were talking about was like, what
Specifically.
is your first memory
Yeah.
of a video game? Like
Okay.
either playing or watching.
So that's pretty easy because I got into video gaming, which you guys have already heard me talk about this game still now. Like, what? I was probably 5 or 6. I might have to do like a year check on that. But when I got into The Sims, so
Classic.
my sister, who is 6 years older than me, her name's Carly, little shout out, but she used to play The Sims, like the very first one, and she had all of them, like that had been out to that date. And I remember like all I wanted to do was basically just like sit in the same room as my sister because I was like obsessed with trying to be her best friend. And so that's honestly where I think all of this came from, was that Carly played Sims, so I was like, well, I have to play Sims too, like in order to hang out with her. And so then, like, that's exactly where it started. And really, all I wanted to do was watch. But I was so ADD that she would kick me out because I was, like, doing flips on the floor and stuff. I wasn't a good audience member for The Sims. But so then finally, like, as I got older, like, I was allowed, like, I was given my, like, a hand-me-down Dell laptop.
So you started on, I guess you could call it PC.
Yeah,
Laptop.
like PC gaming. Or actually, no, before the Dell laptop, we used to play Sims on my mom's like Windows.
Was it a gateway?
Oh God, I don't
Ours
even.
was a gateway at the
We have a
house.
gateway box in our basement. I would
That-
do anything for an
It
actual
doesn't
PC.
make any sense.
Yeah, like a
Why was it
big-
cow colored?
Because it's iconic. Because branding is important, and it's so fucking cool.
It's not called like Moo Computers. It's gateway.
That was just their thing.
Commuters. Your computer mooters.
Computers.
Commuters.
I
That's
was-
just commuting. Shoot, we're not even saying
I know, it's a
computers now.
back to square one. So
I think
30
I
minute
was in
drive.
third grade. I think I was in third grade when The Sims came out, and I remember playing at my friend Taylor Piper's in his parents' office, and his dad was like an architect or something. So I remember he built like really cool like houses and like used the pillars to like define a second story in a way that didn't even make sense to us.
Oh, the freedom you had in Sims 1 was like it was not real building logic.
It was early internet, but it was we were able to get the cheat codes right. And it was like getting Rosebud and doing
Yeah.
the
Rosebud,
when-
like the sled from Citizen Kane. I've never played The Sims. It's
Yeah,
a real
what is
question.
Rosebud.
I don't know why it was Rosebud.
I
That
don't
was
know,
just the
because-
cheat for $1,000,
Okay.
and then you could semicolon exclamation point repeatedly for 1,000 more, and then
And
you
then
filled it up.
Motherlode
You
came
put a
around.
1 at the end, and it would say it didn't work as you held down enter, and your money
Just like ching 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 ching.
Now
Was
you
it a
could-
real cheat code or was it like a flaw?
it was a real cheat.
Like a real
Okay,
cheat
okay.
code. And then I'd have to say that almost is like inflation in Sims almost, because now you don't have Rosebud, you have Motherlode, which is 50 grand. So it's like, all right, you're either going from like nothing to like
nobody's
boom.
just trying to cheat for $1,000.
But sometimes I am, which I did find out they did get a $1,000 cheat for all you Simmers listening. It's ka-ching. Figure out how to spell that one.
I also like calling them simmers, like it's like a pot. It's like
Dude.
ready to broil.
It is.
Simoleons.
I'm on like a Simmers United Facebook group, and
Is there a strong Detroit or Metro Detroit community for Sims?
well,
or is it
this
not
is
local?
like this is worldwide.
I
Oh.
think it's for everyone. Sims is for everyone.
E is for everyone.
Yeah.
EA Games,
I've been sending
not sponsored.
Hella not sponsored.
I've been
Give me
sending
money.
Alana like TikToks of this girl who like does Sims and like explains how to do whatever custom content, like make your own was it bathroom shelves or like random stuff like that, where it involves like building something and then taking it out and then adjusting where it is on the wall. It's like a whole weird
That's
thing.
move objects on, cheat. Yeah, it's Sims
There
like
you
does
go.
not let you clutter things without like being really finicky about it. They like it clean cut.
Is there a competitive Sims?
No, Sims is only like it's not online
It's
or
like
anything.
for the love of the game.
Yeah.
It's
I
literally
think
like
we
you're
just-
escaping your own life.
We just hit the nail on the head. What we need to be doing here, some competitive Sims.
think it's a
Competitive
good
Sim.
idea.
We talked about that. Do you guys remember? It
Yeah.
was
No,
like
I don't.
a
I've been
long
sitting
time
on this
ago.
idea.
Have you
Oh,
really?
I
okay.
like it.
And we had said like you could have people come in here and do like Sims building competitions.
Like set a dollar value. Whoever builds, whatever
The
the,
most
best.
I
impressive.
will straight up host this event for free.
So-
That's what we needed to hear.
Would
I
we do
am
like
in-
a judging type of thing? We have a judging panel.
Well, in the same
of,
way you judge like
expert
a
simmers?
chili contest, I think it would be
Well,
there's
yeah.
a panel and they go from like computer to computer. They go, and they write on clipboards.
I'm like, but did you see the bathroom shelf? Like, did you look around?
Right. Well, and what's that home tour they do also?
What?
There's like a home tour where you go.
HGTV-esque kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it's something where like you like show off the home.
If we could get in the camera of the computer and do like a fly through
So you
to
can
show
now
off
do
properties.
first-person view.
Okay.
In
Now we're talking.
Sims.
Now we're doing some machinima.
Yeah.
It'd be
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
TM. This
Yes.
is our idea.
Yeah,
Nobody's
All right,
stealing
yeah,
it.
do not take
patent.
it.
First of all, this won't be in the podcast.
Yeah, this will be
What?
stripped.
Not giving away good ideas.
It'll just some parts will just be blurred out, like beep.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Competitive.
do a beep episode about beep.
Copyrighted
really
idea
good.
number one.
They sure
and
are
two.
swearing a lot.
Can we, Alex, you're in the world of real estate. Can we get any sponsorship from like a real homeowners
Oh
association
my
or something?
god.
I can see what I can do.
The winner gets
Sponsorships?
their home built. I am in. I'm in the market right now. I will just not buy my home
Oh,
and
yeah. Candace is actually like spinning this to her advantage now. This is like the inside dealing that I want to
I
have
think
happen.
if you're hosting, I don't know if you should be competing, but I
Conflict
guess if
of
you're not
interest.
judging,
No,
it's
I
probably.
guess I
But that's what's
didn't
going to make it a real
think this
competition.
through.
Is that the host is bias.
And as you can see, my awesome house,
Oh, how
complete
about this?
with 2 extra dog houses.
Maybe-
Mine's
Oh my
not
God.
competing. It just wins on its own. We're going to take a look at that first, and then we'll take a look at all the other competitors.
We'll have to do like awards based on different merits, like,
right.
and what they do in a lot of competition style things, like you have to have certain elements.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking. It would be like, all right, you need to design like a barista bar, like study lounge, and like that's it. Like there's got to be like a full prompt, like a whole brief that you have to follow.
Well, the house like should have to have like this color, at least this room, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
like it has to be like a
has these
4-bedroom,
stipulations.
2-bath. And then what would be really cool is to do a budget.
Yeah, I
where,
think the
like, they're
budget.
Oh, budget's
actually-
essential.
Otherwise,
That's you, like
True, or else it's just like a
Yeah.
free for all.
yeah. Without
And a time
constraints,
limit.
there's no
Yeah,
creativity.
time limit
Ooh.
is good.
So I think you could break this up into 2 different competitions. Actually, I think you could do, say, the morning main event and the longest event is the solo play. But is there a way to do a team game where like no, there's
not
no like.
unless you like hand it off a computer, like
Yeah.
So
like,
I can't
if
be
I-
building in the same world as you at the same time.
Nope.
no,
Oh,
not
wow.
yet. Sims 5, we'll see.
Oh wait, hand it off. You said hand it off. So how about relay race style?
You could do relay, like you have to take what someone's
Oh my
built
gosh,
and then
how
you don't know what's
stressful.
going on.
I would not have a easy time like letting go of a computer after like, hi, I just spent 2 hours on this. Please don't fuck it up.
I was
Oh, you're not
thinking
getting
like
2 hours. You're getting like
You have
40
You have
minutes
to
max.
complete the
40
vision. That's not
minutes.
enough.
I was
Yeah.
thinking you could do like builder and designer sort of thing. So like everybody rotates one computer to the right, or you have like a partner where you do the foundation and they do the design.
Yes.
Inside.
I like the idea of
interior
coming
design.
back to the computer and finding out someone's like blown the budget on something you think is ridiculous, and now you're
That
limited.
fridge? That fridge?
We
We're gonna
needed
lose.
we needed the nice toilets.
Judge Candace hates fridges in blue. They fucking don't do them
You
that
didn't
way.
even put carpet in that room. We still got grass. Are you freaking kidding me?
I like the idea that we
There's
could
no
open
sandbox.
no
I
sandbox.
was thinking you could do like someone designs it but only uses like words, and the other person has to build what they did and see how it comes out if it looks anything like.
We're gonna
what
have a
they've
lot
done.
of different sim
We've got a
stuff
lot of
going
sim
on in the
stuff, yeah.
summer.
All right, you
Yeah.
just gave me the final good idea. Okay, not as if there can't be any more ideas. I just meant like you just like solidified it. You have someone, aka host,
AKA Candace.
explain what they like want as if they were looking for a house. Like, so I'm looking for.
Like a potential
Oh,
buyer.
Yes.
gosh,
And
yes.
then
Real
you're like,
You're the
HGTV.
designer
I
for this.
hate
really
this
good.
color, or like I really like blah blah blah, but like still keeping it vague so you're not like I like these exact cabinets, but like so keeping it like I like an open floor plan, or like I blah blah blah, like I need a cool backyard or something, and then whoever can take well enough notes and stuff, like this is gonna be serious, and then can get all those wants like into it with the budget and like make it beautiful
I
is the
am
winner.
blown away.
That's a really good idea.
By
It
how
reminds
the
me of
quality
like
this concept. Yeah, like, this is fucking fantastic.
I'm imagining it as like, and it's nothing like this, but '90s dating show where like it's like what's behind, or like contestant number
number
2,
one.
suitor number 2.
Yes.
Oh
You're
yes,
impressed.
like a little bit of Deal or No Deal vibes in there. Not
Uh-huh.
sure how, but
I think this event could be huge. I think we could draw from the what I think is called the tri-state area.
Simmers.
Is that something other places
Like
have, or do we
Tri-state simmers.
It makes
tri-state
it-
simmers?
makes me think
Coming
of
to a boil.
Doofenshmirtz from
We
like.
might at least be able to extend our reach to Chicago.
That's what I'm literally thinking. I don't know if what the Sims. What is a Doofenshmirtz? I don't. No one stopped to.
Come on, man.
I was
Phineas
like,
and
oh
Ferb.
god,
Nothing.
everyone
Nope.
just let me throw that in there and never like as if. Did you not watch Phineas and Ferb?
Excellent show.
I'm 26.
I'm 23 and I know about Phineas and Ferb.
I know about Phineas and Ferb, but again, like there's
Her
a.
name is Candace. I
Yeah.
had to know about it.
Exactly.
Like,
Baljeet,
I was thinking.
the best character of all time, Baljeet. And who's the surly kid who looks like a bully? Buford and
oh
Baljeet.
my god, see, I don't remember that much, but now I'm
you
like,
guys.
but Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Is Doofenshmirtz? So he's the bad guy?
Yep.
Alex is
Kind
even
of.
more.
He wants to take over the
Alex,
tri-state area.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where that came. Let me just
Yeah.
close that
We are
out.
appealing. There's like a 10-year age gap, 7-year age gap in here. It's a lot of different content. Time moves faster now.
Yeah, that is true.
Time moves fast. Is that Ridgemont High? You guys wouldn't know because you're so
Yep.
freaking young.
Is that the show like?
Over the head.
with
Well,
the-
yoinks.
Is that like Screech?
No, that's
That's Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that guy.
Is
Rest in power.
I'm just gonna keep. Rest in. Screech is dead.
You know, it's kind of unfortunate that
Yeah,
Screech is
Dustin
dead
Diamond
and Prince
died a couple
Philip
months
is
ago.
still alive. That guy,
Huh?
Prince Philip. You guys been watching that stuff? It's not
I
important, but
thought it was. I thought I woke up this morning and the first thing I thought about was Prince Philip.
Yeah.
And that's not sarcastic because I saw that picture of him leaving the hospital
yep.
and
What's
he just.
Prince Philip?
I'm
I
on
don't.
the
He
same
might
page
be
as
married
you.
to the queen, but
He's
he's
married
like
to the queen, guys.
Yeah. He's
Oh.
some real Warren Buffett stuff where it's like 3 hearts and his eyes have sunken so far into his face like he shouldn't be alive, but so much money and so much power.
Prince
and
Philip is, to be clear, 99.
The prince is married to the queen.
yes.
There's some weird stuff going on.
Wait,
in that
you're
royal
right.
cast.
Yeah,
Good
World War
catch.
One. You know, we don't have to go that far.
I
but-
think it's because when you're the queen, you can't make someone the king if you marry them.
Mm-hmm.
So then they become your son.
Yes, exactly.
She's the mother, queen mother, right?
Man, England is messed up. I'm just kidding.
That's why their
step
teeth
queen.
are like that.
I was thinking the other day, and then my first thought is, oh my God, Prince Philip is alive. Second thought, how have I made it 26 years without ever hearing the queen speak? I don't know what she sounds like.
No,
Oh, yeah,
she
neither
just
do I.
sits.
I've never even heard the name Prince Philip. I
Yeah.
thought it was just Harry and Donald or something.
Charles?
Herbert? No, Charles.
This is
Wasn't
the
it-
dad?
Charles was
The dad.
married to
Diana's-
Diane.
Isn't there a
yeah.
William in there?
Yes,
Prince
William is what I meant
There
to
it
say.
is.
Okay.
Used to be hot, now bald.
I saw a picture. I'm like, wow, he was the fucking big man on campus when he had hair,
Oh yeah.
and now he's definitely
We've,
just
we've taken this a long way from where we were at,
Anyway.
but
Yeah.
Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz.
You did this.
I did not do
Taking the
this.
tri-state
So what?
area.
I tried to. Yeah, you did this.
We're expanding
with your
our gaming
tri-state.
kingdom to Chicago.
Right, right. 'cause
Apart from The
Sims-
Sims, Candace's history in gaming.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
came
man.
next? Sims 2.
Okay, yeah.
I was living large, you idiot.
Was it?
We were originally
Oh my
talking about how
God.
we got started in gaming, and I had a kind of similar story to you, Candace, with Jake, actually. And
I thought you might bring this up. Yeah.
So I had, younger brother syndrome. I didn't really have any interests besides, like sports or anything like that until Jake and all of his friends started playing Halo. And
Jonah was a blank slate till I came in, and I said,
I wasn't a blank slate. I had my own interests, but like Jake was an extremely neglectful brother, and I was always looking for something
Looking
to
for
relate.
love, looking
Yeah,
for that
relate
affectionate
to.
brotherly
We're airing
touch.
some stuff out here
Which
today.
you, Candace, you'll
Yeah.
remember from having an older sister too. She just kicked you out.
Yeah,
like-
she was like, "Can you please leave?" And my mom would have to be like, "Can you just let her sit and watch you play?" She's
Okay.
like, "Mom, she's not watching."
Jake, you're
But
the odd
sh-
man out. There's 3 younger siblings apart from you.
Oh,
Okay.
She at least initially
But then
let
you
you
all
in.
know-
Jake didn't let me in. So this eventually got to a point where like Jake needed my financial support to buy the Xbox so we could play Halo after convincing our mom that you could turn off like the blood in Halo. It's a whole silly
So
convoluted.
Jonah,
Oh my God.
Jonah contributed. I'm gonna put this out there. I think $40.
It doesn't matter. We're
I
not
had-
we're not going to get
I
into
had
this.
300
Substantial amount
I
of
had
money for a younger
$360.
brother.
I was like
He demanded
6 at the time.
half ownership for the rest of our life.
I had at least a stake. It doesn't matter. And he tried to sell it underneath my feet, but we'll get back to that.
You can't sell a 360.
So I got to watch Jake
gonna buy
play Halo, and that kind of what got me into gaming as well. Where like
Right, because you look at it like, well, this is what must be cool.
exactly, and like the whole like yours was Sims, ours was like the shooters and everything like that. And I thought like now that we've started back up, we actually recently downloaded the Master Chief Collection, and I thought like I haven't been playing video games. I hopped on the side like with Jake and Alex because I like the idea. I like the idea of being paid, and
Right.
I like.
We'll get there.
Are you
Yeah, we'll
playing
get
Halo
there.
with me to get money?
no. But
Reclaim that $40.
He
That's the
knew
thing.
long
He's
ago
cashing out.
this was going to pay off.
Yes.
like working at Replay Cafe has actually like got me back into gaming somewhat, where it's like I kind of touched on a little bit of a nostalgia thing and it became fun again, and I went from being trash and being like, oh, this was fun, to now like playing semi-competitively with Jake, and we're looking to try and start some type of league with it because I mean it's something we like to do. But yeah,
So for both of you, actually for all of you, you're all younger siblings, right? You all grew up watching someone else play first,
Yeah.
and you're specifically a broadcaster.
Yes.
You must like watching esports, correct?
So, okay, this actually, if I can just like take that and go to
Yeah.
your question of like, I am now an esports broadcaster. Like, how did I get here? Like, the short story of that to also answer that question would be that I never would have even seen this or even like saw it as a goal because I wouldn't have even thought of it as an option. And then I am like blanking on why I even started hosting the esports show. I genuinely thought I had an answer here. I like
Can I take that and run? Actually, I have no answer. I honestly have no
so
memories.
we've been doing the show now for oh my god, like a year and a half. August will be 2 years that we've been doing the show, and like I will say like. Oh my god, now if I say it, like we're gonna have to just delete all the beginning of the show. Like it was so bad. Like if you ever go back on our Instagram and you watch like my first episodes of State Champs Esports, it is just horrible and no one will agree with me and take it off.
Well,
Or
you're
not the-
on the second episode of our show, so
and you guys are doing excellent
I
compared
know
to
exactly what we're doing when you leave, though.
You're gonna go
We're
look.
just gonna
Honestly,
scroll down
I'd
to
be
the bottom of
okay.
that
Yeah.
Instagram.
I have like
Oh, yeah.
bleached hair too that just like
You know,
didn't
you're
make sense.
judging the style and less.
which is
The
why you
whole
should only do
thing-
audio.
The whole thing was just so wrong, and I'm watching it, and I had no idea what I was talking about. Like, it was just like, why did they take this shot at me? Like, I mean, I knew video games, and that's why, like, I got into it with Denver, and that's why we started this whole thing. That's what it is. I remember. So, long story short, I was a sports reporter for State Champs. I did the Lawrence Tech Sports Report. Like I hosted it every once in a while along with all the other interns. It was just kind of a rotating thing. And then I tried to host the state champs high school sports show once, which I was like so flattered, so excited. They were giving me this shot. It was the first time I was like ever gonna read a prompter. Everything else I had done was like sports reporting, holding a microphone, and this was like the real deal. I was so pumped.
Anchoring,
so
yeah.
yes, and so the morning of, I like woke up, did my hair. I was like, yep, everything's perfect. I like went to put my contacts in, but I had made jalapeno poppers like
What?
earlier that day, and I
This
like
took such
didn't-
an exciting turn.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
This went
and
straight to slapstick.
and so I like go to put my first contact in, and it burned so bad. But I was like, well, it needs to stay in. Like, I need this contact. I need to leave in like 10 minutes. And so I got one in, and then I had a roommate that literally moved in like the night before, and I had to like go knock on her door, and I was like, do you feel comfortable putting my contact in my eye? Like, I can't do it myself anymore. My face was like breaking out with hives because of the jalapeno that was like in my bloodstream at this point. This was like a turning point in my life. This is a good story. But so
She never
my
did it again.
roommate, who is now one of my best friends, her name's Bailey, she put my contact in my eye.
God, I can't even imagine.
I can't do it for myself.
She seriously had like the best
that bad.
straight face answer. Like, I was like, can you please put this in my eye? Like, I can't do it, and I need to leave like 10 minutes ago to get to my first like chance that they're giving me with this show. And she
You
was
couldn't
like,
possibly wear your
yeah.
glasses.
oh my God, absolutely not. No, I was like so excited. I wanted like because then you have the lights like on your glasses and stuff. It was like a whole thing. Now I realize, yes, I should have just put the glasses on.
Yep.
So I get there, and I'm not gonna like say any names, but they were very upset that I was late, and I was like, I just want to say like I got a jalapeno in my eye, and they like didn't even want to hear it. Like, nobody wanted to hear it.
Don't even bring it up. I don't
Yeah,
care.
and
Why would you not want to hear that story?
they were like over it before it started. Like, I was like, okay. And I was like, clearly they must notice. Like, I had to be like, I want to just tell you this so you don't think I'm high. Like, my eyes were completely red. My face, like, it seriously looked like I had been crying all day because it just all started breaking out.
Oh my god.
And so I just did it anyways. And this was when we were on Fox Sports Detroit, and it played and replayed. And like just constantly I kept seeing it. Like
your
friends were
shame.
seeing it in bars. Like,
No.
oh my gosh, it was so horrible. So I show up the next week to do like the next episode, and they're like, yeah, no. Like,
No.
yeah. So I was just like,
No.
why didn't you tell me? Like, what? And so it was like, whatever. I just was like, okay.
Are you okay? I would feel hurt.
Oh my God. And I was like, but it was a jalapeno. I'm like, oh my God, no one wants to hear the story again. Like, like they don't
She got
believe it.
jalapeno in her eyes.
And so then all of a sudden, like,
Jesus.
months go by, I think, or maybe it was like a month and a half or 2 months, whatever. But like, I got an email from someone at State Champs that was like, we want to start an esports show, and we think that this will be up your alley. And at first I was like, because they don't think I'm sporty, so now they think I can do esports. And then I was
What do
like,
you think? I'm a big nerd.
right? But then at the same time, I had the same feeling of like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I would much rather do this than talk about sports, which I know nothing about at all. And so that was the birth of State Champs Esports show.
I like that they were like, she can't do sports, but her fucking like new girl-esque like first day of work story would make her perfect for these nerds. They'll love that.
Oh, man. And so I was like so excited, showed up, like did it. At first, it was a co-hosted show with Kevin, who I don't know if you guys have met yet.
No, still no. He comes up
Okay.
sometimes. His name.
Yes, I think I've asked you if you've met him like twice now.
I always say no.
Yep, I know. Well, he'll come in here, but so like we did the show, and like they're seriously so awful, these co-hosted shows. And then finally, like Denver and I have worked our way through. We tried to go for like a John Oliver-esque
Okay.
vibe. That's why we got like the pictures and the videos up now and stuff. So that's kind of what we're going for. I automatically yell when I host, so it just made sense. Like, we'll just go for that John Oliver, like Last Week Tonight vibe, because he's yelling like 24/7.
They,
so.
yeah, they must be holding the mic pretty far from him now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, and he's. I could say so many things about it, man. Like, I don't know how he spews information off so fast.
You ever just start reading and you're like reading it with your mouth but not your eyes? I'm a big
Yeah, I'm aware of
mouth
that.
reader without a word reader.
Yeah.
Without the eyes.
You're saying with a prompter or?
If you put text in front of me,
Yeah.
I'll start
How
reading
could
it.
you read it without your eyes? It
Like,
doesn't
I'm not-
There's no
make
cognition.
sense.
There's no like brain thought about it. It's just saying the words.
I am just saying the words.
I do
Which is more than
understand that.
he's doing. I'm sorry, less than he's doing.
More than
more
he's
than
doing.
that does.
I'm way better than him.
No, I do understand that in like a broadcasting sense because there's a lot of times. So, like little secret, which has to do with the whole broadcasting thing, is I'm actually like severely dyslexic,
Whoa.
which makes broadcasting like, why did I do this to myself? Kind of.
That's like trying to be like a professional mountain climber with no arms. Like,
Yes.
And
Not-
jalapenos.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
it's
like
like
that. It's-
fully feel that. So I
all
just,
feet.
I'm always like taking a whole sentence and like flipping it backwards. And Denver is so patient that he's like totally okay with it. Whereas these things only happen when I like come in and I'm unprepared, where all of a sudden we just got the script together.
Wait,
like,
are you clinically dyslexic, or did you just mean that you were?
That's a
Is there a
fun.
difference?
That's such a
in-
great
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. I
ask.
do. I do.
Oh,
just
no,
mean,
like,
are
I
we
had-
speaking literally, or are we just like, oh, I'm dyslexic? Like,
No, yeah, like this is a real deal.
Are people just
Cool.
throwing that out there? Oh,
Yes.
I'm so dyslexic.
people, they're
Sadly,
like, I'm
people
so
are.
ADHD. I'm so OCD.
Yeah, dyslexic
I
is
see
one
what
of
you mean, where people are
those-
like, I'm so ADD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took
No.
you. By the way, I thought you meant for real, but I just didn't know because.
Yes, no, for
Okay.
real. Also ADD, but you know, I think the two kind of go together. But
Yeah, and esports.
Comorbid.
yeah, that's true. But so that's where the whole like reading a prompter and like even trying to comprehend what you're reading and not just be like, okay, these words, like these letters are making up words, don't fuck it up, is like kind of all that's going through my head in the moment.
Right, 'cause you have to have like inflection. You have to say it like it means something to you.
That's why it's lucky that I figured it out slowly that like I don't think, which like, oh my god, watch me like one day become a anchor somewhere, but like I don't think I could honestly anchor anywhere live because I always read my stuff beforehand so that I can pick up what tone and what pitch and like what excitement level, or like if it's bad news or good news, like you can pick all that up and associate it with the text before saying it on camera.
I felt the same way when I did my internship in college, where like I watched these people do it live. I'm like, I'm just never gonna be in front of a camera ever. Can't
Because
do
how
it.
do you know, like, what if you're laughing about something at the commercial break, and then when you come on, all of a sudden they're like, a baby was found dead in a trash can, and you're like, oh no.
Oh, I just stumble over my words. I'm not the emotional.
Chuckling
Sorry,
through
we don't have
that.
to-
Yeah.
That was a totally different reason that I'm not gonna be.
So, back to the esports thing. Is there a lot of education, or do you have to learn new games, or is there enough of you that you kind of have your like clique of things that you do know? Like you're not spectating like Overwatch, League of Legends, CS:GO. You can't possibly know
No,
all the games and
no.
all that.
And that's where, like, I will say, like, when you say, like, oh, do you just know enough, like, in your own kind of like whatever you play or your realm of gaming, it gets difficult because it seems like every month there's a new game that goes wild or like that gets huge, and all of a sudden it's like everyone wants tournaments for it and everybody's talking about it. So to go back to even our work-life balance, that's where it starts getting so messy, because now instead of like going home and wanting to play a video game to relax, it's like almost sad to say that like playing a video game at home is almost like working.
So
Right,
you
it's
do
like a
do that though. You
research.
actually like go home and play the games that you're
Yeah,
reporting
so like
on
I
to kind of
forced
better
myself
understand.
to get better at Rocket League
That's
so that
It's a great
I could
game, it's fun.
I could like that
Jonah's
one
doing the
was just
same
easy.
thing. He knows what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, I kept telling people at work that I wanted to get into League of Legends, and everyone is like, "No, don't do it." And I
I'm
don't
like, "No,
understand.
don't
It's
do
like
it."
such a negative like response every time I bring it up, or like even ask anyone to teach me. And so like I haven't done that yet, but that was one that was like one of my goals. I think I had told you guys over the summer my plan was to like finish out Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and
Yes.
then
That's an accomplishment.
oh
You
my
should do.
god, I'm not even
I feel like those games are all so different though. Like I would never feel like Legend of Zelda is challenging, but it's not competitive, right? Is it any different for you?
No. So yeah, I mean that's what sucks is I personally love just like one person like RPGs. Like I love like that's the kind of game I love, but that's not esports.
Yeah.
Not even a little.
No, so it's hard because I'm now a part of this community that like I technically wasn't a part of before. Like if I'm being completely honest with myself, I'm like, yeah, I love video games. It's been a part of my life my whole life, but I was never fully into like online competitive gaming.
And even if you are, like, I know for myself, like, League isn't my game, and I feel a little bit locked out of esports because I just can't look at this game that is like it's like,
such
what am I
a
looking at?
huge
Yeah.
part of it.
I to compare it to like, sports, what do people call that?
They call them sports.
Normal sports?
Athletic.
I don't
Like
like
I don't know. I
sports.
try to
Athletics,
say
yeah.
athletic sports.
Athletics is a fair term.
Because I run into this problem all the time when I compare it to like the sports that we cover with state champs and then covering esports cover it.
I just feel like there's got to be a disconnect for a lot of people. Like if you don't know the rules of something or how something is played,
Right.
it's
It's the
unwatchable.
same.
It's the
Like,
exact same thing.
Imagine not knowing how
Yeah.
football worked and watching it.
And
You'd be lost.
exactly.
Imagine
I
having a
am
mom.
there.
He currently.
I-
I do not like
I
football.
think football and baseball and basketball rules almost feel simplistic rather than like trying to look at a League of Legends game and decipher what's happening without any like understanding. Like if I watched a football game, I feel like I could piece things together. Maybe not like what a first down is
Right.
or why they get 4 downs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you at least have the idea that they're trying to score. Whereas
Right.
when you look at a League of Legends map, you're not like,
You have no
oh,
idea
they're
what
just
the
going to
outcome
destroy
is.
that nexus and they have to destroy those towers. And in order to destroy the towers, they have to push the minions down the wave. It's like the whole mathematical equation of how to
yeah,
hold
don't
the
know what
wave
you
and
just
all this
said.
other like complicated jargon.
I like to think of it when comparing it to athletic sports and esports is like the best thing that like the best comparable way to even think of the two as similar is that like you said with athletic sports obviously in order to be good you have to have that like athletic skill and form and whatnot but and like technique and all that stuff but you can pick up a basketball and someone can say, hey, the main point of the game is shoot the ball in the hoop. These are your teammates. Just don't double dribble. And like pretty much with basketball, like with that little bit of information, like you could pretty much play a whole game. But then with
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I
no,
think
I
that's all you
agree.
really need to know.
I
But with
agree.
if like you said, like if you open up a video game, you need to get used to the workings of the controls. What makes you jump? What makes you shoot? What makes you fight? What makes you run? I mean, and then being able to do that and remember, like memory, and then they're different for all games. And then also knowing, like, okay, where's my inventory? Where is this? What do I need to make
Right.
these things? And what does the power mean on certain things and stuff like that? I mean, it's a completely different wheelhouse. Like, you can't just pick up a controller.
There's
and just,
all this technicality and less
Yes.
physicality and
Which is makes sense that you would want to learn League because look, like I don't know if anyone can understand this game if they haven't played it.
no,
I just don't think you can.
I don't think I could just do it myself. And I mean, also, you need a team, right?
Yeah, which
to
is
play
also makes it
League.
hard to start up and stuff.
I think the technique aspect is really also part of it. It's the same thing that you talk about, like dribbling or any type of like physical body movement. You can see when someone's doing something right and when something's wrong.
Yeah.
Literally watching someone's fingers on a keyboard, it is so much harder to decipher because the movements are so much smaller.
Speaking of doing things wrong, I like the idea that like, when someone does something really wrong in a sport and they break their leg on the field, I would love for the esports equivalent where someone like fingers get
jam your
crossed.
finger.
You jam your finger, they have to take him out on a
Carpal
stretcher.
tunnel.
Pinky goes like,
You're like,
you
his
know,
form was
perpendicular.
terrible.
Yeah.
You will see that back in slow
He
motion.
played excellent, but look at his hands.
Yeah.
He's
Lost
only
a
got
nail.
3 years left in this game if he
There
keeps
are-
playing burning the candle at both ends.
there are weirdly like different keyboard positions that some players use. Like
Oh, yeah.
people who've come in to play Fortnite, they like almost turn their keyboard completely vertical and they have their hands in a whole different like fashion.
Oh wow.
It's-
I can't explain
Isn't it CS:GO? You play. I've heard this. I've never seen it or done it, but playing the keyboard completely vertical, like it's a thing.
No.
You set up your keys in
Oh,
a
I don't
certain
know.
way that you play vertical on your keyboard.
I mean, I'm sure it's potentially a thing. I do know that we just signed, or not we, I don't go to Lawrence Tech anymore, but Lawrence Tech just signed one of the first kids or students on their esports team, varsity, and I will give this kid a shout out because I think it's real great. His name is Joy-Con Jesus.
No, that's fucking
Super
great.
cool.
Right,
good
and it's
name.
because
That's cool
he
as
like
hell.
has the Jesus hair and whatnot. He took like a full photo shoot of him dressed as Jesus with a controller. And, like, I was putting together these
gripping a
graphics, and I was like,
switch.
what the
And no
heck?
one can make fun of him.
But his thing is that he
'Cause
only
he's getting paid
plays
to
he
go to
plays
school for
Smash
video
Brothers
games.
with only the left controller.
Like only one hand?
Like only the left joystick. is
Does he
what
hold it sideways or does he hold it with one hand?
I think only one hand, because I don't think he even uses his right hand at all.
Wait, what game
This
is
is
this?
interesting. I'd like to see like
For
him do
Super
other
Smash Bros?
things while
Yeah, it's like he's like spitting a drumstick
Okay.
or like cooking
making
an
a
egg.
pizza.
Yeah, I had to make graphics on what like each kid that was coming in, and then what their game of choice, like what their game is. And his was Super Smash Bros. But then it like specifically said like only uses the left Joy-Con, and that's why his name is Joy-Con Jesus.
That's super cool.
I feel like you could get away with the name without only using
Yeah, I
one.
just
Yeah,
thought
just
it'd
be
Me
good.
too, but
You
then
can
it
just
all
grow your
came
hair out.
together.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be good or
really
Or
nice
amazing
guy.
you
or
don't have to
anything.
also be Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to fucking walk on.
Water,
Yeah,
but can he swim on land?
I can turn switches into
Game Gears.
Crackers.
GameCube. So.
Ooh.
All right, so I think we've hit past what I was calling a tight 45 because it was a fucking good interview. Thank
There
you
was
for
some
coming on.
brainstorming too in there.
There was
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, maybe we can get it down to like a tight hour 20. But that was great. Thank you for coming on. I think now we have like more people to go talk to. I want to speak with Joy-Con Jesus.
Bruno.
Bruno is next. If you can sneak him out or something, so Denver
I'll
doesn't.
see. I'll see if I can work with my contacts, aka his dad.
Get him like under your car, so that when you get him out through the gates, like they don't put the check under the car. But when you look under the car, he'll be gone.
Wait, why am I sneaking
Because
him
Bruno
out?
and Denver live in a very secure castle.
Yeah.
No.
So you have to go in under the guise of
I believe the word
something
is
else.
complex.
Tom
when you live in a
Cruise?
complex. Yeah.
And he has to go under your car and not anywhere else because that's just badass.
all right.
He's
Yeah, I'll
small
see what
enough
I
that
can
And
he
do.
he's
could just
8,
grab
like, you
onto
could-
the
Yeah, he'll
axles
fit.
and
I think
Yeah.
he'd be in.
Sweet.
He's
It's
already
done.
there.
He's booked. Bruno and
thank you,
Joy-Con Jesus, we're
guys.
coming for you, Candace. We should do this again as soon as possible.
Yeah,
It's very comfortable.
I'm
You're
in.
a pro.
This episode of Uncut Games is brought to you by SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.